Hey guys, it's Cameroon and welcome back to another video. Now Overwatch 2 Invasion, or Season 6, has finally launched and we have a lot to talk about. There's new events, new game modes, balance changes, and more. So whether you're here for the events and the rewards, including the free Legendary Brigitte skin, Flashpoint, PvE campaign information, balance, you can find it right here. There'll be video chapters to wherever you need to go, so feel free to skip ahead if you need to. Now, let's get right into it since there's a lot to talk about. I'll start with the two events that are currently live right now. The first one is the Underworld Event, which runs from August 10th to September 5th. It is a free PvE event that places you into King's Row, where you need to fight your way through null sector enemies to repair the TS1 robot, and then move towards hacking a terminal. This mode will feature weekly modifiers that will release over time, which are then associated to other challenges. Speaking of challenges, there are a total of 16 challenges, 15 if you don't include the one that requires you to complete challenges, that rewards a bunch of different items in XP. For completing 8 of the challenges, you are rewarded the Legendary Brigitte skin called Spark Plug. This is the one that you've seen in the trailers. It looks great. I'm a big fan of the skin, and I can't wait to complete 8 challenges to get it. Now, before diving into the challenges, I should mention that some of them are not available from the start of this event, and they will unlock as time passes. And I've mentioned this before, but they are linked to the weekly modifiers that will release every single week. And don't worry, when I'm talking about these challenges, I'll be sure to mention them as they come up. But alright, let's get into the Underworld challenges. The first one is Underworld Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld on any difficulty. You can play on normal, hard, expert, or legendary, it doesn't matter. It will reward you 5,000 Battle Pass XP once you complete it. Then we have 3 more missions that are going to come up, which require you to complete the weekly modifiers. These are not unlocked right away. First, we have Underworld Missile Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld Death from Above on any difficulty, which rewards you 5,000 Battle Pass XP. Then you have Underworld Ultimate Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld Ultimate Zones on any difficulty, again rewarding you 5,000 Battle Pass XP. And finally, Underworld Mystery Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld Invasion Mystery Swap on any difficulty, which then again rewards you 5,000 Battle Pass XP. Now these next couple of challenges don't require waiting a certain amount of time to do, and they are Underworld Rollmaster, which requires you to complete Underworld as each role, tank, DPS, and support, which rewards you the Spark Plug player icon. Stop Thief, which requires you to eliminate 4 battery thieves as a team before they steal a battery in a single completed run of Underworld, which rewards you the TS1 repair spray. This is very easy to do. You'll see these enemies carrying batteries, just eliminate them before they can get away. Super simple, any role can do it. Then you have Your Welcome Human, which is activating TS1's Gratitude Protocol in Underworld, which rewards you 2,500 Battle Pass XP. This is something that you're just guaranteed to do as long as you beat Underworld. You can't miss this one unless you fail. Then there's Underworld Lore Hunter. Discover all hidden lore interactions as a team in Underworld, which rewards you the Vulture Spray. This doesn't have to be done in a single run, so just look around the map. You'll probably find some lore. I have yet to find all of them yet. I've only played it a couple of times, but it's not too hard. Don't worry about it. Then there is Nultimate, which requires you to prevent the A7000, which is the Antibot, and the Ore unit, which is the Orisa bot, from using their ultimates in complete Underworld. You fight them right at the end of the mission, so just try to do as much damage as possible. You can play it on any difficulty, so play it on normal so you don't have to worry about it, and it rewards you 2,500 Battle Pass XP. Then there's Rock on TS1, which just requires you to keep the TS1 robot alive and complete Underworld, which rewards you the We Are the One spray. Super easy to do on normal again, you'll have no problem. Then we move on to the expert difficulty versions of completing Underworld, which will then reward you voice lines. Firstly, there's Underworld Expert Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld on expert difficulty, which rewards you a Tracer voice line. I should mention this, when it comes to expert difficulty, you need to find the perfect team. Don't be discouraged if you play the game and you lose in your first 3-4 tries. It's similar to how Archives worked. You gotta find the perfect team or play with your friends. It's the easiest way to do this challenge. Then there's 3 more of these expert challenges that are tied to the weekly modifiers again, meaning you can't do these challenges right away. There's Underworld Expert Missile Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld Death from Above on expert difficulty, which rewards you a Soldier 76 voice line. Then there's Underworld Expert Ultimate Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld Ultimate Zones on expert difficulty, which rewards you an Ashe voice line. And then there is Underworld Expert Mystery Fighter, which requires you to complete Underworld Invasion on expert difficulty, rewarding you a Zenyatta voice line. The last challenge is called Underworld Modifier Master, which requires you to complete Underworld on legendary difficulty with each of the 3 weekly modifiers. This rewards you the Underworld Guardian player title. This challenge is going to be brutal unless you're playing with your friends or you have an amazing team to play with. I should mention that these challenges are very similar to how Junkenstein's and the Archives achievements were set up. You can of course do all 16, but don't feel discouraged if you only get 8. Every single one of them does not need to be completed to get the Brig skin, and some of these challenges are not easy to do. So get your 8 from the easy challenges and you'll have a good time. Then there's the Illari launch event, which runs from August 10th to August 22nd. This event celebrates the launch of a new hero release. There's no new real mode to it, but you'll need to play No Limits and Flashpoint to get some of the challenges done. Now, what are the challenges? Well, there are a total of 6 challenges that reward mainly Battle Pass XP, with a couple giving some cosmetic items. The first 4 challenges are completed just by playing any game mode, and they are First Light, which requires you to complete 6 games, which rewards you 2,500 Battle Pass XP. Then there's Coming Dawn, which requires you to complete 12 games, rewarding you a victory pose for Illari and 2,500 Battle Pass XP. Next, there's Rising Sun, which requires you to complete 18 games, rewarding you 2,500 Battle Pass XP. And finally, Daybreak, which requires you to complete 24 games, rewarding you the Flaring Up highlight intro for Illari and 2,500 Battle Pass XP. I actually really like this highlight intro, by the way. Remember, wins count as double for these challenges, so for example, if you win 12 games of quick play, you'll have all of these challenges completed. Moving on to the other 2 challenges, you have Triple Flash, which requires you to complete 3 games of Flashpoint in the arcade mode. You have to go to arcade and select that version of it, which rewards you the Face the Sunrise spray and 2,500 Battle Pass XP. And finally, Limitless Light, which requires you to complete 3 games of No Limits, which rewards you 2,500 Battle Pass XP. Both these modes, again, are in the arcade mode. And wins on these challenges also count as double too. Okay, those are the events. Now let's move on to the balance changes. I'm going to try to go through these quickly. I'm not going to give too much of my opinion. I'll give my general one at the end, but this is just a place where you can figure all the changes immediately. I'm not going to interfere with a bunch of my opinion nonsense. Don't worry. Okay, we'll start with tank. We have Devo. Her booster's cooldown has been reduced from 4 to 3.5 seconds, meaning you get your boosters a little bit faster. And she's now damage immune for 0.4 seconds while ejecting. You may have not known this, but she does take damage, and it's super easy to see when you play Reinhardt, when you just swing your hammer constantly at her mech. Now she won't take damage for 0.4 seconds until she's finally out of that mech, so you can't immediately eliminate her as Reinhardt. Then we have Doomfist. His Seismic Slam cooldown has been reduced from 7 to 6 seconds, and Power Block now reduces damage from stuck projectiles, like Tracer's Pulse Bomb or Cassidy's Magnetic Grenade. Orisa also got a buff. Her main weapon's damage fall-off range has been increased from 15 to 20 meters, and Fortify health bonus has been increased from 75 to 125. She's going to be tanky now, just remember. Ramatha's block and Annihilation block now reduces damage from stuck projectiles as well, but his ultimate cost has been increased by 12%, meaning it's going to take longer to build up his ultimate. I think that's okay, because Annihilation is an incredible ult. Oh, opinion, Cameron, stop it. Then Sigma just got a quality of life feature to make his movement more consistent to other standard heroes, just so he doesn't feel like he's always gliding and feeling like if he gets hit or knocked back, he's moving further than other tanks. And Winston has received a couple changes, with his secondary fire charge time being reduced from 1.2 to only 1 second, but his secondary fire recovery time has been increased from 0.5 to 0.75 seconds, meaning you won't be able to shoot his secondary fire as fast. Moving on to damage, Bastion got a mega buff. It's nice to see, honestly. I'm a little scared though, because the turret mode looks kind of scary, and that's to his grenade and everything else too. His grenade's maximum explosion damage fall off has been reduced from 70% to 50%, meaning it'll do more damage all around. Its detonation time has been reduced from 0.5 to 0.35 seconds. The recoil of the grenade has also been adjusted so he can recover more quickly. His projectile size has been increased from 0.2 to 0.25, meaning he can hit more targets, and its impact damage has been increased from 15 to 30 damage. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage with that grenade. I like that. His grenade hasn't been that useful, and I think this is a good buff for it. His main weapon reload time has also been reduced from 1.5 to 1.2 seconds, and then turning into his turret form now restores 50 armor health immediately. That's crazy. And finally, during his ultimate, his targeting moves slightly faster at 25 meters per second instead of 20. Then we go to Cassidy. His base health has been increased back to 225, and his primary's weapon damage fall off range has been reduced from 25 to 45 meters to 25 to 35 meters, meaning he's not going to be doing as much damage from long range. His magnetic grenade has also received a couple of changes. His projectile now only has a max travel time of 1.5 seconds. That's good, because I didn't like the fact that he could just Hail Mary that grenade. And the slow and hinder amount has been reduced from 30% to 25%. Hanzo can now no longer preemptively draw an arrow before climbing a wall. If you don't know what that was, basically you could draw your arrow and then climb a wall and still be able to release it immediately. You can't do that anymore. Soldier 76 received a slight nerf. His Helix rocket explosion damage has been reduced from 90 to 80, and his ultimate's cost has been increased by 10%. Sombra getting a nerf is great. Her EMP ultimate cost has been increased by 15% and no longer destroys Lifeweaver's Tree of Life. We'll be getting a Sombra rework in the next season anyway, but this is a good change. And then the final DPS to get a change is Torbjorn, with his weapon swap between Nailgun and Hammer being reduced from 0.5 to 0.4 seconds, and his primary fire getting an increase to its fire rate, now shooting every 0.48 seconds instead of 0.55 seconds. His hammer swings are also slightly faster too, only taking 0.6 seconds instead of 0.75 seconds. It's not going to be too noticeable, but it is there. And finally, moving on to the support, we have Ana. Her primary weapons damage and healing has been reduced back to 70 per projectile instead of 75, but her hipfire projectile size is now larger with an increase from 0 to 0.1, meaning you should hit hipfire shots slightly more frequently. Brigitte had her shield's HP reduced from 300 to 250, and Rally's ultimate cost has now been increased by 6%. Kiriko's protection Suzu's knockback has been removed and now only heals 40 health. However, when used to cleanse a negative effect like anti, it will heal an additional 30 health. Her kunai's damage, her primary weapon, has been increased from 40 to 45 per shot, with her recovery time being reduced from 0.55 to 0.5 seconds, meaning that she can throw her kunais slightly faster, but her headshot multiplier has been reduced from 3 times to 2.5 times to compensate the base damage buff. Lifeweaver received a bunch of changes. His base health has been reduced from 200 to 175, but now he has base shield health increased from 0 to 50, meaning he has 225 HP in total, and he'll be able to build up health and shield at the same time, giving a little bit more survivability. Thorn Valley has reduced spread for one of the 2 Thorn Valley projectiles per shot by 25%. It's not going to be that noticeable, don't worry about it. Rejuvenating Dash's healing has been increased from 25 to 50. That's going to be annoying. You're going to get that Lifeweaver down, and then he's just going to whoop, and he's going to get 50 extra HP, and you're going to be like, oh, come on. Life Grip's mobility lockout duration has been increased from 0.45 to 0.75 seconds, and 50% of Tree of Life's overhealing is now converted into overhealth, up to 100 maximum overhealth, meaning he'll now heal you and give you overhealth at the same time, so you're going to be a little bit more tanky. I think it's a good buff to his tree, because his tree is pretty bad, let's be honest. Then moving on, Lucio's crossfade self-healing penalty has been reduced from 60 to 0% for the duration of Amp It Up, meaning when Lucio boosts his healing, he now gets the full effect of it. It's not going to be forever, of course. Once Amp It Up ends, he'll go back to that 60% healing penalty again. And finally, Mercy's damage boost percentage has been reduced from 30% to 25%. Wow, that was a lot of balance changes. I'm not going to go into my whole thoughts on the balance, like I've said before, but from rating them, I don't really see a change that screams too problematic. And all I can say is hopefully Lifeweaver is better to play now. Anyways, let's move on to some PvE information now. I personally have not played the campaign since I do not have it, and I won't be talking about any spoilers either. This is just about information regarding the PvE, like the bundle prices, where to go, difficulties, etc. In order to get access to Invasion, you need to either purchase the Invasion bundle or the Ultimate Invasion bundle. The base Invasion bundle is $15 USD and comes with all 3 Invasion missions, an Earnable Sojourn Vigilante skin, and 1,000 Overwatch coins. The Ultimate Invasion bundle costs $40 USD and comes with everything in the Invasion bundle, plus 1,000 more Overwatch coins, the Premium Battle Pass with 20 tier skips, and a legendary skin for both Cassidy and Kiriko. You should know this, there is no other way to get access to the PvE campaign. This is the only way. To access the missions, just head over to the Missions tab on the play screen of Overwatch. From there, you can choose your mission you want to play and any difficulty. There is also challenges you complete in Invasion to get Battle Pass XP, titles, and other items. Now, let's move on to the smaller stuff with this update. Player progression has finally come out, and with it are levels for all heroes. Basically, each hero has multiple categories that help level up your heroes. As you level up your heroes, you can earn name cards with higher tiered versions of them. You also have an updated player profile where it showcases your heroes with the highest level, your overall progression level, which is your total hero levels all combined, and more. This progression update is quite nice. I actually really do like it, and I'm glad it's here. And with these progression levels comes a new weekly challenge that actually gives Overwatch credits to help allow you to get more stuff in the hero gallery. That means every week you can get 8 progression levels to get 150 Overwatch credits. That's not bad. Plus it works towards the 60 Overwatch coins you can get per week too. Moving on. We also have some more Twitch drops celebrating the launch of Season 6. I told you there is a lot to talk about, and I'm getting to it. So for watching 2 hours, you can get the Coastal name card. Then watching for an additional 3 hours, it gives you a Torbjorn voice line. And finally, watching an additional 4 hours will get you the Legendary Leg Captain Torbjorn skin. Remember, you need to claim the previous drops before working on the next one. It'll take you a total of 9 hours to do. So watch your favorite Twitch streamer and you'll be good to go. And next we have Flashpoint. I finally was able to play the game, and I want to say it's an interesting mode to say the least. I'm not going to continuously explain every detail on how to play it because I've done that before, but I'll sum it up quickly. The game has 5 points on the map that can be captured. One of those points will unlock and your team needs to capture it, basically like Control or King of the Hill. Once the point is captured, whether it be your team or the enemy, one of the remaining points will unlock and you need to capture that as well. The first team to capture 3 points wins the game. It's as simple as that. 2 little side notes for the game mode though. Fully capturing a point is faster than Control, and since the maps are quite big, heroes with movement abilities seem to play better on them. That's your Tracers, Lucio, Soldiers, etc. So be wary if you're playing a hero like Ana, because if you get eliminated, you have a long walk back to the capture point. Lastly, we have the firing range update, and basically it just got a couple more enhancements to better help you practice your aim. It's not much, but it's nice to see the area get some love. I spent a lot of time in the firing range just chilling while waiting for matches, and so them adding a little bit of targets and then shielded enemies and just a couple of other things is really nice.
Firing range activated.
Titan.
There's even more changes in this update, but these are all the major things. If you want to check out everything, be sure to check out the patch notes with the link in the description. Anyways, that is everything in Overwatch 2 Invasion or Season 6. I know there's a lot to take in from this video, but I wanted to cover it all in one central place. That way, anyone looking for a specific thing or wants to know about everything has it. Season 6 seems to be pretty good so far, but the season has just started, so hopefully the game remains fun over time. I'm excited to try everything, and I hope you all are too. Let me know if you're enjoying the season so far, and what's your favorite thing about it. And as always, if you like the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Enjoy Season 6, and I will talk to you all later. Whew, that was a lot to talk about. My goodness.